Check, baby, check. 1, 2. Pedro and I will be with you guys shortly. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever it is in the world you're coming to us from. Welcome to DYOR Live here on the DYOR Media Network. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking in the digital media world. The man in the box behind me today on the big screen TV is none other than Pedro Damas, also known as Pedro Garcia, the crypto chart analyst. Pedro, welcome to the show today.
Why, thank you.
Thank you. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it is October 28th, 2025. It is Technical Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen, but we're going to talk not so many technical indicators today, more along the lines of how the Trump influence, not only his influence, but his family influence and his entire business apparatus affects your bags. How he, essentially, as my graphic here shows, the world is in his hands. There's been no other person that has had as much influence on the economies of the world than Mr. Trump. I mean, arguably, President Xi of China, during his the growth of China during his rule over China is just as important. But that was a long-term thing. Mr. Trump had an immediate effect. And his run in the world's economies, and what he says goes. Also, Pedro, big announcements today. Big announcements. As of today, DYOR Media is a BTC treasury company. Just thought I'd let you know we're making that big pivot. We minted a couple of $100 million, took some private placements in. And we're a BTC treasury company. We're already trading under our net asset value, so not good outlook so far, but we got going. Also, I wanted to point out there's another announcement too. We're also an AI compute company. We've totally redone everything. We've kicked out the old management, brought in a new board of directors, and we're now using our worldwide server network for AI compute. And we've also taken in a couple $100 million in private placements for that too. I jest about these things because just about every company on the planet, it seems like, is trying to figure out how to monetize their infrastructure into something having to do with being Bitcoin. If they have a credit arrangement, a BTC treasury company. If they've got infrastructure, they want to be an AI compute company. And it's getting a little out of hand, to the tune of even yesterday, an auto company decided, that's it, we're done with auto stuff. We're firing all the auto people and the manufacturing and cars and all that. We're just going to be a BTC company. Thought that to be pretty odd, so we did have some fun talking about that. But enjoy our newfound wealth with our private placements here of many hundreds of millions of dollars. Anyway, Pedro Garcia, it's that time of the day. What the heck is happening with Bitcoin today? I think it's going right according to plan here.
Yeah, it's moving up. It's real interesting. We had a bit of a sell-off. We tried tapping this area here at that 116. And what's exciting about it is that as the S&P 500 gapped up and looks like I'm looking to short the FOMC meeting here. So because of that, and we're watching the gap up and the push up here since since Sunday and Monday. This Tuesday is going to be quite fun. Or this, I think it's Wednesday or Thursday is when the FOMC talks about the interest rates. So I don't know. Again, I'm not Pedro.
Wait, hold on. Which chart is that?
This is the S&P 500.
Oh, that's
but I think that we have the gap up. We're trying to push up as much as possible. I think we're coming down to this this area here. Just gonna pull it up here real quick. And this area here, I think they're going to bring it back down, potentially down to that 68.41 to that 68.50 area here as a pullback. You know what? This is going to sound crazy because I know I am talking crazy here, but I think they just might not lower interest rates. Like really, because the gap up to push up, what would cause the market? I always think opposite, right? In the market, and they're pushing it up at the beginning of the week. I'd expect them to sell it off towards the end of the week. And is it Thursday? I believe the FOMC is happening.
Yeah.
Make sure. No, it's not Thursday. I think it's Wednesday here.
Is it tomorrow?
Yeah, Fed speaks rate decision. It's going to be Wednesday.
Yeah. Well, you would be bucking the poly market trend, that's for sure.
I know. Like this, I'm almost want to throw like a $5 bet on it. Like to see on the opposite end, because I mean, you're going to do pretty well if you do. You know what I'm saying? What are the odds on if you get it right?
Well, I don't know what the poly market thing is. It's probably 93% to 7. So if you bet $7, you'll get 100. No, you'll bet $7, you'll get 93 minus whatever they take.
Well, if you throw in, if I throw in $100, it might be worth it. I'm just saying, right? Like, that would not be it's not a bad bet, just because I'm watching what the market is doing here. And I'm like, you know what? It's just acting a bit peculiar. And so I'm kind of playing off of this because I don't know if they're going to, I don't know. We'll see as we go into more of everything. But we're watching Bitcoin right now push up. And what's interesting is with BTC. We're watching it kind of like in this. Remember, I was talking about pull it to the hour chart. Look at the wicks, right? That's always what I'm looking at.
Right.
And I was looking at it last time. We have this area here. There's really no demand wick. There's some demand wick, but the demand wicks are really down at that 109, 180 area, to that 108, 750 area. So I'm looking at this going like, are they going to drop it? Like it just might. I mean, just putting it out there, just so you guys are aware of this. Like I said, I went long at the beginning of this week, right? Like I talked about it. I was at my friend's Diwali festival, and the market opened up while I was there. So I went long. I caught it from here all the way up to the 116. Was trying to get the sell off. I didn't. I was just waiting for it. Like I said, I went to bed, and then it sold off right up here at this level. But apart from that, it's just looking like it wants to kind of come down for the interest rates. So part of me almost wonders, are they going to fake out the world? Remember.
I would not hesitate to say that I believe you're correct. And I'm just popping up my chart real quick. The dump that we had talked about that could happen in September, which didn't, and then the dump that we said, okay, it's likely going to happen at some point in October. It did a little bit. People freaked out about that one day where it just dropped all the way down to 103 in a flash crash. I think that was just people anticipating CZ getting a pardon or whatever the story was. I can't get over the fact that we keep bringing up the under 100, sub 1,000, sub 100,000 era of liquidity in the market. and that at some point price needs to grab that. And the better time for that to happen is before it does the big run up to 150 or something like that. It's better for it to go get there. The institutions get a better price. All the retail people get stopped out of their long positions and capitulate. And that allows the market to really pump. And so I'm with you on this, Pedro. The question is, I was kind of thinking it was going to happen last week, or, really, in the past, sometime in the past 5 days, by the red arrow on this chart. Originally, I had it drawn down to 96,000. It's not to scale, this chart. It's just kind of ideas. But if it doesn't do this big green arrow now, it's got to do the red arrow first. And I'm with you on that. I saw this going up as I watched it pull back. According to what you said, it looks like it's going to come back and hit the 8 period at some point here, crossing over the 21 period. That to me seems bullish, but all that money down there in the 90s is like calling, hey, Oklahoma, Oklahoma, Oklahoma.
Yeah, it's one of those things. But again, we don't try to buck the trend. The trend is our friend, right? And so if the market is going up, we play market. I more am apt to trade the FOMC trade here, just simply because it's kind of screaming to me that they want to drop it by pushing it up this week. So I'm just kind of watching and seeing what they're doing. On the daily chart, we're putting in some lower highs and lower lows in, and especially with the gap up into supply. Anybody is an OTA trader, that's kind of sometimes a clear sign saying, hey, they're going to be bringing it down. So it's one of those things I'm kind of just watching, and as I'm looking at the higher time frames, the 8-hour, 4-hour, 2-hour, 1 hour, it's looking kind of weak. I just don't see, like I said, I'm not expecting a major sell-off here. I'm just talking about it coming down, getting orders, and then going back up.
Right.
And what better way to spook the market except to sit there and say, we think that the jobs market is doing okay. That's kind of been timid, and we haven't been seeing a lot of stuff happening with, but we know that they're not seeing major major firings. And so I can sit there and then say, we're going to hold the rate at its current rate right now, and not drop it.
The market would absolutely flip out.
It would tank. It would absolutely tank. And the traders that are trading the bonds and interest rates would be pissed. You talking about, just because you can already see them, they're prepping. This is
right. They got all their clients and they got everything done a certain way, and then it doesn't go that way, and then
and they just screwed themselves over. So you can see here they're already selling it off, expecting it's going to go down another 25 basis points, and then you can see here the 2-year. Which I thought was interesting. I thought we were going to see a continuation down, and but the truth is it kind of pushed back up off of this liquidity area. And I said we probably hit that 8. We came back and hit that 20 period moving after. We're kind of playing here, so we're seeing interest rates starting to push up a little here. Look at the 2-hour. The daily. Daily's kind of going up, right? You look at your 5 or your 5-year still kind of going up. Look, we're not seeing a major sell-off. So part of me almost wonders, did somebody leak it to the traders, and they're kind of just waiting. They're kind of waiting and seeing. We're not really seeing major pushing. So I'm wondering.
Pedro, are you telling me that insider information is traded around Wall Street?
Never. That would be illegal. That doesn't happen on Wall Street.
Nobody has friends in high places in Wall Street.
No, those are a bunch of Joe Blows over there. They don't deal with a lot of money at all.
No.
Especially interest rates and bonds. That's not the biggest juggernaut of government waste. Trade. anyways, okay, next.
All
So,
right. Wait,
yeah.
hold on one second, Pedro. I forgot to share this.
I'm sorry, you just went on mute. Say that again.
Check.
Yep, there we go now. Yep.
That's weird. Turned myself off just like you did.
Happens.
I forgot to share this around and drop the links around, so I'm going to spend a minute doing that. But I do want to take a quick shout out because we've ignored the clock the whole time. Shout out to everybody on watching us all over the internet today. Today we are broadcasting at our home base here on Rumble, YouTube, Twitch, X, and LinkedIn. Welcome everyone joining us from LinkedIn. I see that there are a couple of you have come and gone there. But our LinkedIn comment machine doesn't work so well. Come join us over on Rumble. Go over to Rumble and search DYOR Live or DYOR Media, and you'll find us. And thanks to everyone that has cruised by us on X. If you could stick around, I'd really appreciate it. Anyway, sorry about that. I'm going to take some time to do a little social media here while you're talking about this stuff.
Excellent. So, I think what's really interesting is what we're watching here. The world doesn't really know what's going to happen. Over the weekend, we saw a major repo market issue where basically banks and large corporate entities weren't willing to lend. So we know that Fed kind of had to step in and, well, almost save the day. Things kind of got settled out, but it's still one of those things that I'm kind of waiting and seeing what are they going to do fully. And so that's about it right now. And the fact that they have, FOMC on Wednesday. So it's one of those things that I'm still going like, you know what, we could potentially see some big pushes here as the market really starts to move in a direction. I already talked a little bit about the S&P 500 and how it's kind of floundering around right here, right now. We've been seeing volume kind of drop off here. And so it's just kind of like one of those things that I'm just kind of waiting to see. Going, are they going to drop this? I mean, it kind of looks like it, Anyways, what's up, Tom?
I was just laughing.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. So while Tom is doing that, I'm going to read some news here real quick while Tom is taking care of business. And then we can go from there. Hey, Pedro. Sorry.
That's all right. I'm mirrored in social media land here, which you start posting one thing and then you ADD yourself right into something else while you're doing important work.
Yes.
All right, let's see. Crypto, Bitcoin, Donald. I mean, you know what? I'm just going to tag the real Donald Trump. I'm sure he'll come watch our show.
Weirder things have happened. All right. Let's talk about this stuff because I think it's really interesting. Now that we're watching what's actually happening here with, we're almost at 7,000. I mean, we were literally 30 points away from, 60 points away from 7,000. That is nuts to me. That's just crazy to me because we've been hitting these all-time highs. And I'm shocked that we're at literally 7,000. We're literally touching. I mean, we're at 69. The high was 69.27. And watching the fact that we're hitting. I mean, when I think about 7,000, the market typically trades 1% of the value. 1 to 2% of the value of the whatever market it's in. That's 70 to 140 points on the S&P 500, fluctuating up and down every day. I mean, as traders who traded back in the day when the market, where the S&P 500 was literally sitting at, and this is crazy, right? 1500, where you would may hope to get, 15 to 20 points, and people.
Right. Oh my God, we did move 10 points this afternoon.
Yeah. Now we're moving literally 70 to 100 points in a day. That is just absolutely bonkers. So, for those who are in this market and trading it, that's just one of those things you're just like, wow, absolutely wow. So, let's go ahead and look at some of the stuff that we're doing right now. Here we go. All right, you want to do the Technical Tuesday thing, or are we just going to jump?
Ladies and gentlemen, it is Tuesday, and while we're going off a little on tangents and stuff about things, we still want to hit you with some of the world economic indicators, because one of the topics we have today is not only Technical Tuesday, but is this one that I mentioned earlier of how Trump-ocracy, combination of democracy, autocracy, and Donald Trump merge into one topic, how it affects your bag. So there's none other than starting off this section of the show with Technical Tuesday. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Technical Tuesday. Pedro, what do you have in store for us for Technical Tuesday?
We have a lot of
my friend.
Yeah, I'm actually doing the thing that you were doing earlier. I didn't send it out, so that's what I'm about to do here real quick. So that was much quicker. The music, normally it's a little longer. It's interesting. I was like, oh wow, that quicker than expected. But what's cool about that though is that then just kind of made me realize I need to get quicker with my some cool stuff. And I'm excited because I might be appearing maybe on another episode of a cool podcast again. So we'll see what's up.
Coolio.
All right. Coolio. Let's jump in here real quick. Let's jump right in. Now, one of the things that I was talking about earlier is that as we keep going up, we keep seeing the trading volume or the trading range expand. And with that said, as that keeps expanding, and again, it will keep expanding until the US government really kind of puts a hold on its debt. And that's not looking like, especially with the idea that the US government is not even in session, which is crazy because they're almost a full month now, right? I believe it's been almost a full month since the government has actually stepped in and just hasn't been going to work, which is kind of crazy because they're still getting paid, which blows my mind. Like, how is that possible? But on the back end, I do see an opportunity for, as this market is pushing up, that maybe positions might be looking to sell it off. Just that huge gap, like you can see here, right? We had a huge gap, similar situation, pushed up, sold off, and you always come with something like this. So that's why I'm kind of like expecting, again, another push up, then a sell off. And it's hard for me to trust it. It's so hard for me to trust this because it's like, it's crazy. But then now that the fact that I finally kind of come to the understanding that this is all based off the US debt and inflation, and that in itself makes me actually understand, okay, this is going to keep going. It's just things will keep going. With that said, I'm going to go over the debt here real quick before we push further. So congratulations, America. We have now increased our debt to $38 trillion now. So that happened over the weekend. Congratulations. I'm so happy
Whoop,
for
whoop, whoop.
us. Right? Obviously, I jest here. But it's kind of scary, right? Where we're headed. And you can see here, as well as the domestic, the U.S. domestic, the GDP
Gross domestic product.
Thank you. The GDP is basically pushing up, which is good. And America, we are richer this week so far. Overall, you can see that we have per citizen, based off all of our raw minerals, raw real estate, land, stock market, recaptured assets. We have a total wealth of 176 trillion dollars to back us, which is cool, based off a debt system. And if you spread that out to every single American, that means that each American is worth about $517,000. Did you know that? I didn't.
It seems to have gone up. Wasn't it 300 and some just recently?
Yeah, well, it's going to keep going up because inflation keeps happening. And so when inflation happens, everything goes up. So does your wealth, because that's the point of inflation, is that you can push down your debt when inflation happens. And guess what? Your wealth goes up because assets go up when you have inflation. And so on that note, now that we actually understand that on a basic level, we can go through now here. And I think what's really cool is this. We can now see, are things going to keep going up? Now, I think overall, because I don't think the government is going to go through and stop. I mean, as Rebel Capital, what's his name, George Gammon says, your drunk uncles, or your drunk say, or your uncle drunk, your sailor, no, your drunk uncle sailor. There you go. Uncle Sam is spending like crazy, and in that sense, basically, you just kind of put yourself in harm's way because he's the one that's driving the boat, and you're just in it, or you're in it in the back going, "What is going on?" So we're gonna see what happens here, but I do expect to see a short sell-off here in relationship to this market. I don't think they're going to raise rates because honestly, it doesn't behoove the Federal Reserve to drop rates. It just doesn't. They've been adding all this debt to their balance sheet, and they don't want to keep doing it unless things are really going to get bad. And so I don't think they're really going to drop it. Hopefully I'm wrong and they do drop it and we see the market go up again. And that would be great for my assets and your assets, called crypto and, traditional markets. So we'll see what happens. It'd be great for your 401k, everything that correlates with that as well. Now let's go ahead here and check out the next. I already went over S&P 500. Check out the NASDAQ here real quick. It looks very similar. NASDAQ is literally trading like 600, or is it 260? I just want to make sure I get it right. Wait, this chart.
I wonder if I gotta get these.
That's crazy, bro. It is literally trading at 400 points a day, 480 points a day for the NASDAQ. That is
also
nuts.
Unbelievable, right?
Yeah, yes. Yeah, it really is. Should be as about 2%, 2-3% move in the NASDAQ. So for you NASDAQ traders, you are having a field day right now. So hopefully nobody was short over the weekend because you got crushed, literally decimated, like bad. But hopefully you weren't there. Now next, one of the things I'm paying attention to, and we talk about this often, is the RTY, which is the futures for the Russell 2000. One of the things to point out is that it is at the all-time high here, right? As we're seeing it come in, but we put this up here of that 2,500 to 2,600 area here as a supply area. And again, I talked about this acting as as a resistance here. Now, one of the things I'm looking to see if this thing, if we are going to see a bit of a sell-off, is this is going to be the first one to show. Typically, the Russell is the one to show first, and you can see here that we're already starting to fall off on volume, and we're already starting to show some weakness in the market, even though the Russell, or even though the Nasdaq and the S&P 500 is pushing up. You can see that the Russell is starting to show some weakness already. So that's why I'm expecting to see this little guy here sell off, and then see the rest of the market sell off here. That's really where, that's the canary in the coal mine here for myself, saying, "Ooh, look, it's a little catawampus here," but hopefully I'm wrong, and we see this go up. I don't even know if that's a word. I just have heard it. It means like it's a little offset, right?
I believe it is. I believe it is. It's just that I don't think I had heard it come out of your mouth recently. Pedro, I'm looking at, while you're talking about the Russell here, I was looking at the symbol lookup. I'm not with the new trade wave. I'm good with the crypto side of it, but the symbols, I'm out of practice pulling up symbols, as I mentioned yesterday, on the stocks and commodities side and all that, because it's far more complicated since there's just millions of products. That's why, you think, wow, there's a lot of cryptos. There's way more financial instruments than there are. No less than, I'm just gonna guess, I can't search that much, 500 derivative products of the Russell 2000. The iShares this, the Vanguard that, the Techlit Sal Vessel, the Global X Russell, the Buena Vista Russell, the this Russell, that Russell. There's a lot of people that have set up their own funds to track the Russell 2000, and put their own little twist on it. I'm guessing most of them suck. Otherwise, we would have heard about them, or they'd be trillion-dollar assets. But it's not easy to look this stuff. The LNG, I don't know who LNG is, they have at least 17 Russell 2000 small cap funds.
Oh, because each area has a different sector. Because you have the low, but you have your tech sector of the smallest 2000. You have, right? That's why.
I can't see the detail. All I see is that the titles and stuff. And there's a bazillion of them.
A bazillion.
Here, let's.
Not
bazillion.
To be confused with a Google.
that would be larger.
Yes.
Let's see. How can I get this? Let's just see if this symbol even works. I know I'm going off on a tangent here, and I've completely ignored the clock.
Shit. While Tom is doing that, just throw out, there's now a group.
There we go.
Grokkipedia now out there. So in case you've been messing with it, which I have last night, I've been enjoying it. It's actually fairly balanced, I have to admit.
I saw some pretty good X or threads on X and Blue Sky and on Truth Social, because I got to post on all those things, about people like, well, how could you be better than Wikipedia with all of our human editors and stuff like that? And people were just posting screen caps of pages that had clearly put biased information about whatever, or the fight they have to have correct information on a politician's page, and people have screen captured the history of where someone edits it, and then 5 seconds later edits it again. And people are fighting the editing, and then the moderator on the popular pages, the moderators are trying to do it, and it's a disaster. And pointing out things that, pages that have been put up and forgotten about that are just dead. I heard Elon talking about Grokpedia, saying, we're not just capturing the information and just going to post it. He said it's always going to be evaluated if it's still current or true. So the information is current. He said much of what you go to in Wikipedia hasn't been updated. If you look at anything news trending, it's been updated because a moderator took the time to do it. He said, but there's millions of stranded pages on there with incorrect information. And I was like, this is a good point. Poor guy at Wikipedia. All he does is beg for $2 and $3 and $5 at a time. You get those banners on Wikipedia. Please, we need $2 and $3. Elon comes in, billions, billions, billions.
Really, it really is, and it's fairly good information.
I have not used it yet. Is it easy to use?
Yeah, it's real simple, bro. It's like I didn't really search anything up, but I was just reading through, and then like just type in like pull up uh Kamala Harris, right? It's actually fairly good. I mean, look, I mean, it's not mean. It's not. It just basically goes over its stuff. Um, there's nothing inflammatory. Just tells her life. If you want to find out, let's say George Washington, you want to look
How do you
up certain
find it?
things. Just it's literally grokpedia.com.
Oh, it's its own URL. I was looking on.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Let me. I'll send it to you.
I was staring at the grok.com screen.
Oh, okay, no. Yeah. You just go to and also I reposted it on my X. If you go to my X, you'll see it.
Ooh, no, Grokpedia. I didn't spell right. That went somewhere wrong.
You gotta admit, dude, they're so quick on it. Alcohol and it always real. It's so one wrong spelling, man, right? And you in a place you're like
Grokipedia.
Yeah, Grokipedia.
Like
sorry.
Wiki, Grokipedia. Yeah. Don't do Grokpedia.
Yeah, my bad. My bad. I should have clarified that, brother. Now you're stuck watching feed pics, and you're like, no, can't get out of this because there's like 50 million, and we're like, get off of my, leave my. All right.
These guys that own the other one I was just talking about are just waiting for Elon to cut him a big check. They're like 10 million and it's yours, and they're gonna get the URL because there's everyone out there like me is just gonna shorten Grokipedia to Grokpedia and get feed pictures.
Yep. They're quick on it. They are quick on the mic, bro. They're ready to drop it like boom, boom. Like it gets real. Anyways, so jumping back here real quick. What I thought was really interesting here with the RTY or the Russell 2000 futures is that it's really kind of playing around right here. And I really want to see if we stay above that 8 period moving average today, okay, and we see, or if it gets close to the lows here, and then tomorrow we see it go up, expect this market to go down. Okay, expect that. And again, that's if we get close to the lows of the 2000 or of the 8 period moving average on the daily, which would be somewhere around, let's say, that 2500 area, like literally 2500 on the mark. If not anything lower than that, something you need to be paying attention to. In addition to that, if we go up into the evening, okay, and again, this is the Russell 2000, then expect a kind of a sell-off to happen. And again, that means then that they probably won't raise rates. So just be paying attention to that. All right, now again, let's check out the, we've already talked a little about the yields. Yields are kind of dropping off on the short-term yields, which is the 1 month and 3 month. You can see here that they've kind of been playing them dropping here. You can see here again somewhere in the 3 month. Boom, these bills, they're expecting it to go down. So how far is it going to go? I think potentially over the long haul, they're going to go to 2.5, which just sounds crazy, but yeah, that's what I'm expecting. 2 year, you can see here, 2 year is kind of floundering. We're kind of going sideways here. 5 year on the yields. We already went through all this. Now let's go to the bonds here real quick. Bonds here, you can see, let me pull this up here real quick. This is the 2 year. They're already kind of seeing a bit of a sell-off. 5 year, similar situation. We're kind of seeing a bit of a sell-off again, which means that if they're selling off now, they should go up on the thing, which means that rates would go down. Maybe.
Yeah, looks like I don't have treasuries on this list. Darn it, I gotta get another API for that. Arg!
You gotta pay for the API?
No, I'm currently just using free ones. The
right,
people that pay us for TradeWave are gonna be paying for the APIs. The industrial ones.
I gotcha, yeah. But ultimately, when I'm looking at the 10 year, I'm expect like this is going up on the 10 year. It went down to go up. That's not good. Monday we went up. Tuesday we kind of sold off to go up. I think we'll probably finish above that 8. And if we close above that 8 period moving average tonight, that means we should see it go up into the evening, or excuse me, yeah, see it go up into the evening, and then in the morning see it go up, and then see a sell off on the 10-year yield, or on the 10-year bond here. Similar things probably happening. Yep, with what we're seeing here with the 30-year, 30 Ultra. But ultimately, that's kind of like what I'm looking at. The ZB 30-year as well. We're actually above the 8 period currently right now on the 30-year bond. So yeah, it's kind of looking like they want to drop bonds and potentially hold interest rates. It's gonna be really interesting to see how they're playing this out.
HY.
Okay, let's check out here. Let's check out the VIX. VIX have been kind of holding steady at the low rates of, or not low rates, at the low area of 16 to 1550 area here. So this is a good sign saying even if they don't hold rates, or even if they do hold rates, it's not big of a deal. I don't think it's going to cause the market to go crazy, which is a good thing. Again, let's pull this up here. We're going to go over. We've gone over China here. China is looking the same thing. Nothing's really changed. But the dollar. Let's talk about the dollar here. This is the euro dollar. Again, I want to add that the dollar is not just by itself, but it's in a mix of currencies. One is the Japanese yen, the other one is the euro. And so as the euro goes down or up, it will fluctuate against the actual dollar. Again, this is the Dixie, or this market here is predicated on really a few other things. That's the DXY. Now, the one thing, if you want to look at the actual hard one, that'd be USDX. That's the one that we want to play with. And 1 second. Boom, US dollar index.
I am just no good at the symbol game here. USDX is an ETF on NASDAQ also. And I'm also pulling the US dollar to Central African franc exchange rate.
I mean, right now you don't even have to do that. It's okay. Because I'm just going to jump through this here real quick. I'm just going to make a quick little comment here. So you can see here that we came down to our demand zone, which I was expecting it to do. We came down, tapped this area last week. Now we're starting to see it kind of flounder here. Again, the thing that's holding us up is really that 400 period. And on the monthly, it is the 8 period moving average here. We talked about this acting as resistance towards the end of the month as we were coming up to it. So we can now see it coming down. Now, the key point here is I'm expecting to see a USD climb here simply because it's been sold off. If this thing, if the dollar goes through and finds resistance right here at my level that I've been talking about, sitting at that 98 or 98.40 to the 98 6 cents area here. If we find support here, then, and it's kind of like it's looking like it's not, honestly. It's looking like it might fade and come back down and tap this area here. But if we stop here, expect it to climb back up to tap that $100 area on the USD is what I'm expecting. But it's got to hold this area here for it to go up. So that's what I'm kind of waiting on towards the end of the month. We've got 4 more days to the end of the month, right? No, 3 more days to the end of the month. So again, we didn't really see a huge pump this month, right? I mean, look, it kind of just went from here to 98 to this other area. Right, there we go. Wait a minute. All right, you can see right here that since October, we've seen it go up and come back down. It's kind of just playing more of a consolidation pattern right there. We'll find out. But everybody sees this, and when they see it, a lot of times they're going to expect it to go up, and I think that's why they're going to go down, stop everybody else out, and then push it back up. That's what I'm expecting. The other part behind it as well is the crude oil. Let's talk about the crude crude oil dollar here. We talked about it coming down to that 55 area, and this was one of the Trumpian trades that we were talking about, all the way up at the, is it right here? This is where we were talking about expecting to go from that $75 mark all the way down to the $55 mark. Obviously, we saw the pull back up into this level, but now we're kind of still floundering around right here. There's a lot of talk about OPEC going through and, you know, keep producing more oil, keep pushing things out there, and in doing that, basically keeping price at a low rate here. So it's going to be really interesting to see as we start to move forward if they're going to keep dropping this. Again, it's hurting a lot of Americans in regards to producing, because we have inflation here in the States. A low oil, a low crude oil really hurts the manufacturers for the actual crude oil. So we're going to see what we're going to keep monitoring this. But again, I do expect it to go down lower, down to that 54, potentially even, you know, 48 area. Again, we talked about this back here in April and May. Also, we saw the rebound, pulled back, and now we're kind of falling down here. So I'm expecting to see it come down further as it comes down here. So we'll see as we start to progress into the winter here in the States. Natural gas. Natural gas is it's time to shine. Typically during the winter time, we here in the States we see it go up. So we're already starting to see it find support. On the 8-period moving average, which is right here. This is our 8-period moving average, which is the purple line right here. So it's important for us to see and understand that if we want to see it find support on that weekly, if we're coming down into this area, that's where we're looking for that bounce. And so this will be a nice little climb from the 313 area up to that 384 area, if not higher. And so be paying attention for that push. All right, guys, boom. That's it in a nutshell for that. Let's talk about gold. Gold. All right. So gold has been playing off of, like I've talked about it, pulling back to that 36.80. I said we'd see some type of support, but I don't expect a lot of support at that 39.29 area. I'm really expecting that 36.80 area for gold to come back down to that level, get buyers, and then push it back up. And so that's kind of like what I'm expecting there for gold. Here we go. Silver actually is bouncing off of our area here that we were talking about. But if we see gold start to sell off even hard, we should see silver come back down to that 42-41 area where you can come in, buy it, and then find support as we start to push up higher. So this is one of the areas that I'm looking at that, you know, we could be able to buy in on the futures and then, you know, see if we can make some cash on that. All right, next, here we go. Oh, freaking A. All right, I'm looking at my short. I'm looking right now on the S&P. I didn't get to my area yet. All right. HD is looking, which is copper. We bounced out of the idiot box right here. We now, the last few weeks, we've been seeing it climb back up. Now, what's interesting with copper is the bellwether of the economy around the world. When copper does good, we see a good situation. When copper does bad, typically it makes things cheap, which means that a slowdown in the economy is actually kind of happening. And so a lot of times people look to check out what's happening with copper here. Now we know that China does buy a ton of copper, and so potentially we know that they've also had a slowdown in the economy and over in China. The CCP has been a lot of times lying about their jobs reports and everything like that. So the rest of the world is just wondering, is it real, right? Like, and we know that America was a large line of their business. And the fact that we've been slowing down on buying a lot of their stuff shows kind of here in copper what we're seeing here. So even though we're seeing it pick back up, one of the things I'm looking at here is that 50% retracement here. A lot of times we're about there on this big drop. So with that said, I want to make sure that we're not going to be fooled here. So if we see this continue up, then we're coming up to that $6 mark. But right now we're still at that $5 mark. So we want to see copper really find good amount of volume coming over the next couple of weeks, and we've actually been seeing the opposite of that, as you can see here, right? The last few weeks we're just watching it just drop in price, and so that's why I'm a little bit hesitant saying this is a 50% mark. Don't get caught off guard with it going up. I would expect to see it continue up, expected to see it going down here because of just the volume that we're seeing come in relationship to it going higher. All right, guys, so that's it for copper. Copper. Next one we're going to do here real quick is NVIDIA. NVIDIA is a bull. It wouldn't even come down to that 170. It just has been popping like it's hot. So I would almost say if you're in this, great. If you're not, wait for a pullback. We'll see when we get there. But right now, it's just still moving. So if we see a sell-off in the broad market here, I would expect to see it come and tap that 8, which is going to be the 183 area on NVIDIA. NVIDIA is one of those ones that kind of when it sells off, everything sells off. So that's why we want to pay attention to it. Next one, we're going to go look at MicroStrategies. MicroStrategies was really interesting here because I've been waiting for it to come down to that 204 area. And so fingers crossed if it does, but ultimately this is the areas that I'm looking at, which is going to be that 192 to that 314 area. And then also if we come up to that area, expect it to continue down. But right now we're just straight down this week, which isn't, not good from what I want to do because I want to see it sell off. But the cool part behind it as well is this is for MicroStrategies. If this thing continues up, you guys are going to do great. That means Bitcoin's going to go up hard. But just because MicroStrategy goes down doesn't mean that Bitcoin's going to go down, right? They're both together, but also separate. So right here, I'm just kind of waiting for that 231 area for it to come down to, so I can take part in the options ETF that I was talking about a couple weeks ago. All right, so Ethereum. Let's check out Ethereum because Ethereum has been really having fun. I heard somebody say if you can catch Ethereum under 5,000, this was a major talking point head guy. And it was really interesting as he was saying, you're doing great. And I thought to myself, I said, really? Like, are you like, really? And then I started thinking about it again, like with crypto. Yeah, it's one of those ones that I'm like, if you're out there and you're looking at the market and you're realizing this is all based literally off of inflation, if the US dollar keeps doing what the US dollar is doing, any treasury, any coin that is going to have a treasury, which basically is a debt instrument and that you can write debt off of, or you can create debt from it, is a good buy. So I was like, oh, he's right. He is absolutely right. Unfortunately, I still think it's a little too high right now. And so I want to see ETH potentially either come down to that 38.82 and or potentially that 33.61 area for myself. So I'm kind of waiting for that a bit of a sell-off here. But right now it's still sitting at that 41.35 area. I think we might see a flash crash down to there coming up here, where you'll see really institutions kind of take part in that. That's kind of like what I'm waiting for though. BNB, shout out to our people who have BNB. You guys are loving BNB. This thing just will not say no to it going down.
It's doing that. It's bucking the market today.
Yeah, it is. Well, and the thing is I was actually expecting a bit of a sell-off, but if you see right here, over the last few days, we're watching it go up, right? We got the flip-off finger here for you. 1, 2, 3, 4. All you need is that one right there. But that's, I forget the market. I'm doing my own thing. I'm 16. I can do what I want. So yeah, that's just this area here. So be looking for that breakout. If we close above that 200 period moving average, right? We see close and then kind of come back and tap it, right?
200 period?
Excuse me, 20 period moving average. Thank you so much for that.
I was like, that's a sharp moving 200 period moving average.
Right. We want to see it close above the. Good point. That is a very good point. That little area right here, we can see it close above the 20 period moving average. We want to then see it come back up, go back down, and then continue up. And so and come retest those highs. It's been really interesting. And speaking of BNB, let's check out Aster. Aster has been one of those ones that basically people's hearts are still crying over. And I understand why. A lot of people lost a lot of money here, especially with the sell-off. But lo and behold, if BNB goes up, and I just might have to buy in at these prices here at that 114, because the fight over 14 cents might be silly.
That's what I was thinking too. I was like, if we're planning on it going to $5, it doesn't matter if you buy it 14 cents lower or right here.
Yeah, that's exactly. So one of those things is I've been watching volume come in, and as BNB starts to pop, and this is popping, I'm like, I see a correlation here. So I'm going to get in at those rates as it's coming around these lower areas here. So that's where I'm looking to be buying here. If we sell off, even better. But ultimately, that area here is really what I'm looking for. That between, honestly, between 120. I mean, originally I talked about it hitting that 130. What was it? The 130 to the 126 area, which was right here. Sold off obviously to that 93 cents. So kind of waiting and seeing here. I'm going to buy a little here and then come wait for it to come back down if it does. But either way, it's still a good buy because I'm buying it for cheap here. Okay, next we can check out.
Pedro, I might add, there's been $500 million in 24-hour volume on Aster. 500 million. So the interest is still there, even though the volume on your chart is way down. I mean, they had big volume a couple of days ago there. Well, now you get the BNB chart up there, but still,
no, it's all right.
$500 million traded in Aster. This is like Trump or Elon land. One tweet by CZ. It's almost like you just need a limit order. You just buy some now and have a limit order around 1.8 or something like that, or $2, just so it just bang sells it. Grabs your order and you make free money from a tweet. Wouldn't it be great if that was that simple?
Well, speaking of it, I mean, it's talking about a tweet. Crow got a tweet from Trump, and we saw a bit of a pump with it, which I thought was really interesting.
A bit.
Yeah. Obviously there's that. I mean, the man, and it's sad because, like, we saw it coming, right? Like, we did see it coming. But the reality is I don't see Crow going away. I think Crow is intended to be strong. And the fact that what did he say about it? I forget exactly what he said. I saw somebody post the tweet about Crow and Trump. But I thought it was really interesting because he went through and he talked about this, and I wouldn't say talked. I mean, talk's a loose word, but he mentioned it. And for me, when you do that, it's one of those things that it's now making it pretty clear that Crow isn't really going to be going anywhere. And I hate to use the word rest assured because nothing's ever guaranteed in life, but they're going through and they're being pretty intentional on this move here. So, I mean, I don't think it could hurt me to sit there and say, you know what, buy a little bit more Crow and see what happens, right? A $3 Crow wouldn't be crazy to assume. I mean, if XRP hit 3, saying Crow here could hit $3, $4, and all of a sudden, like, and not a long time. Not a long time. It's not statement. And just like when you look at what happened with XRP and that whole entire situation going from 30 cents to now I think the high was almost 360 or something like that. It was something that if that does happen, I would expect to see that type of movement. And if it does, I just might put a stop limit in at $3, $4, for my Crow, and then wait for the sell-off again to come in and buy it back at a lower rate.
I do know, Pedro, let's take a moment to react the hour of the show here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to I'll turn the clock back on. Welcome to DYOR Live here on the DYOR Media Network. It's the second hour of our show today. Bitcoin and the market is down. Aster and BNB bucking the trend here, moving up. Not a lot to talk about from Donald Trump here because he's off in Asia trying to conquer the world. But I do want to mention that his policies here in Trump-ocracy, I'd like to take credit for that name, Trump-ocracy. But I heard a guest on the Bloomberg radio podcast this morning used it, and the Tom Keene, the announcer for Bloomberg, was very impressed. He's like, I've learned something new today, Trump-ocracy. And he talked about how Mr. Trump has essentially taken over the financial narrative for the entire world. And I mentioned this at the beginning of the show. Obviously, President Xi of China has had a massive influence on the economy and goings of the world over the, however long he's been in office. And his predecessor, I can't remember his name, unfortunately, as they've seen the Chinese economy essentially grow in, exponential size. However, Mr. Trump commands the attention of the entire financial markets in a period that took about 6 minutes. From the time he's like, do you swear? I swear. Okay. Trump says tariffs, bam, markets crash. Trump says this, boom, markets boom. And he has such an influence on the market that he's even starting to affect global liquidity. I was watching something earlier today about, liquidity in certain markets is hurting. And one of the reasons they said was, well, it's the Trump effect. And the other guest said, wait, why? That should help it. And they said, no, because the market likes certainty. And while Mr. Trump does announce a lot of good news, there's always an uncertainty of bad news coming out of his mouth. 100% tariffs on China. And, 5 months ago, that would have been a market crashing move. Now it's just a short, people are like, yeah, he's not really doing 100% tariffs. The market's built in hyperbole. And as I'm saying that, they're talking about Trump and sanctions here. But he has such an influence on the market that his policies, his version and vision of the world, he can actually execute on like no other person in the history of the world, outside of direct warfare and just going around nuking people and stuff like that. He can set the narrative. He can act on the narrative. He can iterate the narrative. And of course, people call it, in politics, they call it flip-flopping. In business, they call it iterating to something that works.
And in trading, we call that insider trading.
Right, or you call it, I made a mistake. Instead of going long, I'm going short. I flip-flopped. And he has the ability to nail down the financial markets and get it to do what he wants, even in brand new crypto. I mean, he essentially has taken over the narrative in that market by just coming in and saying, all right, the US is going to be the hegemon of crypto world. And boop, Congress passes some laws, boop, it's changing. And now other countries are playing catch up. A great example is here in Canada.
Here in Canada.
On November 4th, supposedly Canada is going to drop their budget for next year. And in it is rumored to be stablecoin regulations. Normally this would take years in Canada and come out through various agencies after long periods of talk. But they need to hurry up because the money, they're afraid. They actually came out and said, we are afraid that the Canadian dollar liquidity will dry up because of stable coins in the US. And we've been talking about that before they passed these stable coin bills. We've been talking about it for ages. And there are all these people, even our good friend Anton is posting on LinkedIn all the time going, stable coins are just for exchanges. Nobody's going to use them to pay them, blah, 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 blah. And we're like, no, that's not how this works.
I even said, because at the time this was a couple years ago, and he had mentioned about that. And I said, dude, no, the rest of the world's going to adopt it because America is going to adopt it. And I bet you that they're going to exchange it for treasuries. You were talking, and you leaned more towards Anton. I mean, you were kind of in the middle there, playing safe ground. But like, this was it was literally one of those things that when I talked about it, I saw your face look at me go like, what? What are you talking about? And I'm like, mark my words. And very rarely do I say mark my words, because like it was
100%. In Canada has realized they're pushing it through because while they're behind the times on many things, they do have their pulse on what's going on in the U.S. because of the tight-knit of the world. The business world doesn't stop at the border here. I mean, half of Canadians either have business interests in the U.S. or have a loved one in the U.S. or something like that. It's, they pay attention to it, whereas we go, who? Canada? What? I don't even know where that is. Oh, you live in Montreal? Is that near Vancouver? And they're like, French. Why would they speak French? They're Canadians. And people, So, but in the U.S., in Canada, they're very aware of what's going on, and the people in the government are pushing this through quickly, which usually means that they'll make some bad laws, because anytime any government does things quickly, it's not good. But more to the point, that's showing their hand that they're worried that the foreign exchange could become a big problem if there's a flight. I mean, businesses will move. Imagine you're a business that's got 100, or we'll just call it $1 billion in Canadian money just sitting around doing nothing. And all of a sudden the CFO comes in and says, hey, all I got to do is hit this button and we earn 6% on that. What do you think the CEO is going to do? Yeah, you're authorized. Boop, you do that. Then $1 billion leaves the Canadian economy. And then he tells his buddy in his CFO chat group, hey, I'm making 6% on the cash sitting around. The bank's only going to pay me 1%. And all of a sudden everyone's like, boop, just like that. I mean, at the flash of an eye. And so they're worried about that. So they said, we need to create the playing ground for stable coins here. And they're going through that process. And why are they doing it? It's because Mr. Trump said this needs to happen. Not in Canada. He said this needs to happen in the US, and markets are listening. Even China's listening to that too. They're like, I mean, they have controls on their exchanges anyway.
They
foreign
hate
exchange.
it. They absolutely, the CCP hates it.
Totally. They're another group that likes consistency and, no surprises. And this whole business with Mr. Trump has been one surprise after another that they have to play the diplomat, play their little chess game with, and that they're not good at doing it that quickly. Obviously, they're used to Mr. Trump now, so they can do things faster. But governments all over Europe they are just totally. I'm just going to use this French word. They are fucked. they first of all, they're of the top 20 companies in the world. Top 20 companies. Guess how many of them are from Europe?
I'm assuming
0.
80%.
Oh wait, that might be tech companies. I stand correct. I might not have that right. It might either be the top companies or top fintech, tech, modern day companies. I'm not talking about like Switzerland Sovereign Trust or something like that. Nothing. And then they passed the MiCA law over there that says stablecoins want to operate in Europe. Oh, you've got to keep all the cash in a European bank. And the stablecoins are like, no. So there's been zero innovation. There have been 0 crypto projects that have registered for MiCA compliance. Where innovation goes to die. 0 projects registered with MiCA white papers that they're required to file. The only ones that have said we're come out and be MiCA compliant was USDC partnered with a French company, so they could work under their financial license over there. But there's nothing. There's nothing going on in Europe, and they're freaking out. They said we need a MiCA too, because they say, I mean, there's not exactly a lot of sovereign debt that's easily tradable in Europe compared to the U.S. and even Canadian debt. There just happens to be a lot more Canadian debt now than the past couple of years. But Mr. Trump has caused all of this, basically everyone in governments all over the world that has anything connected to do with finance or the economy, to totally flip out, freak out, jump off a bridge, build a bridge, do what it's innovation, it's causing freakouts, it's causing collapse, it's causing market buildups. It's doing everything at a rate much faster simply because of one man. And there has been no other time, I argue this in my head a lot here, has there been a time in which a single person has affected the global market so quickly? Obviously, things move faster now than in the 1800s. So, and you would just have to say, maybe except for Alexander the Great, conquering the Silk Road and just massacring everybody and changing the economy, there's been no person in such short of a time that has affected the world economy so much. And I don't see it stopping. I see it got another, he threw, the first one or second one?
Second one, with the whole entire one. The reason why I say this is throwing this out, right? Like the idea of, the Patriot Act, it changed the world, and how everybody also when he said,
don't get me started with that.
I'm just throwing I get it, right? Like again, but I'm just this just Patriot Act, and then also no child left behind, and in additionally to this, like it just let's talk about it. Everybody should have a home, the American dream, which caused the 2008. Yeah. Right. The 2008 fiasco.
Mortgage crisis.
Right. So
okay,
exactly.
Now that's a valid counterpoint.
So, but apart from him, maybe again, I want to be careful here. Clinton, and then what's his name? No New Wars. What's his name? Why am I forgetting his name now? Took us off the gold standard. I know, right?
Nixon.
Nixon, yeah. Took us off the gold standard in 1971. Apart from that, I can't really. FDR, maybe. But again, compared to Trump, like he's FDR, obviously is a totally different situation. But that was the restructuring of the financial system. Whereas he's not just doing financial system, he's doing, trying to stop World War II, trying to stop World War III, trying to keep America's debt. Instead of us handling it, he's bringing all our friends saying, hey guys, come and have some of this debt. Right? And trying to export our debt to the rest of the world. And then in additionally to that, he's trying to set up a completely different hegemon in the way we go about doing things. And so it again, maybe Teddy Roosevelt. Maybe Teddy Roosevelt.
I don't know. They may have had a lot of effect on the U.S., but they even threw Nepal into a mix. I mean, the government of Nepal essentially fell because Mr. Trump spoke one day. Yeah, and he got the youth riled up in that country, saying, why can't we? I mean, it's not like he said, the youth of Nepal rise up. He said everybody in the world should strive for, to be better. Crypto is a way for that, and he listed a bunch of policies. I can't remember what it was. And then 2 weeks later, the government of Nepal falls, and you see it's the kids of the nation essentially took to Discord where they weren't being censored, and talked about it. Say, why can't we have the stuff here that the people in the U.S. have? Why is it that only the rich people, meaning the government and the crony friends in Nepal, have all the money and have these fancy cars and these social media accounts showing them hanging out in Beverly Hills and stuff, and we're eating dirt here and walking around in 10-year-old sandals? So they said, enough of that. Tossed the tea into the harbor and brought the guillotine and took care of business.
I heard that. What's become of that? Because that's something that you do need to pay attention to. Like, America started off something like that, right? So, do you know what's happening?
The government of Nepal fell, and they essentially elected a new prime minister over Discord.
I love it, dude. That is freaking awesome. It's scary.
I believe they were smart about it, though. I'll do some research on it to find out. But I believe they said, those of you people running the government institutions, like, you know, the road building people in the water business and all that. In the Bitcoin mining group they have. You guys keep doing your job because we need that stuff to keep going. So they didn't come in into like the Arab Spring and just get rid of everybody and then go, well, how do we clean trash?
Looks like it might have just been an acronym of Charlie India, you know, Alpha.
I don't know what you're talking about there. Beep. Sorry, sir. Our show has gone off the air permanently.
Guys, I got it.
There's a knock at the door. Who is it? Land Shark.
Oh, you're right. Fractional DeFi, dude. These fractional reserve banking, Reagan and Thatcher. Yes, he is right. That was a big move. That was a huge move. He's right. That was good. Yep. That's something.
You know what? The great graphics machine and comment machine has been broken today, so I haven't paid attention to it. DeFi, dude. That's that Mr. Spain?
Could be. Yes. Very much could be.
Dara.
Lawton. Dara Lawton. Brother, what's up? It's good. It's always a pleasure to have you, man.
Fire Chicken, welcome to the show. I have been missing your comments, everybody's comments all day. Crypto Unicorns says, made it. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. What else do I got here? That's Pedro. Yeah, I've been slacking here.
It's all good. I'm keeping up on it.
Fractional reserve banking, Reagan and Thatcher. What I liked about fractional reserve banking is how they're like, all right, you only have to keep 75% of reserves on hand and stuff like that. And so I was like, okay, that seems fair. Yeah, then 60%, 50, 40, 30. What
30. Now 1%. Like 1%. Now 0%. Oh, it's a good idea to at least have 1%. Okay, at least. Just a good idea.
In fact, is there about 6 hours worth of cash in the ATM outside? That's fine.
Oh, you're good. You're good. All right, you're good. All right. Pretty well. I mean, we gesture, but I mean, this is honestly the way it is. I mean, it's crazy. You know, it's like I have a friend of mine who literally has his nuts. Actually,
he has his nuts.
Yeah, he does. But he has gold. He literally has gold. I don't even know where it's at, like, you know, anything. But he literally went through, and because this was done probably about maybe 4 years ago when COVID was happening, and he kind of got freaked out. So he had a sizable amount of cash, and so he went out and bought, gold, the hard asset gold, and buried it. Because he thought like it was the end of the world, dude. I said, bro, you're crazy. And then now he texts me. He goes, "You think I'm crazy now?" And I'm like, "No, actually, that was brilliant." And he got it for actually a good deal too, which was pretty epic. He asked me because he reached out to me and said, "Hey, where do you think a good price to buy in at gold?" I said, "Oh, probably down here. Wait for a sell off and then get in." So he went through it and he bought it. I was impressed. I was like, "Dude, that is very clever of you." Very.
There's been no time for any hard asset, which gold is, in which the price didn't, if you held it long enough, even that shitty little ramshackle house down at the end of the street that still has burn marks on it from the 1970s. If you held on to that, you would have doubled your money.
You know what's funny? I say this because it's really not funny. But I know a guy. His name is John McDonald. He was a teacher over at what am I saying? With Online Trading Academy. But I used to always follow him because he was always talking about gold, and he was very fundamentalist. And this guy has been talking about buying gold, literally hard gold, until I think it was down at the price of like $700. The guy is, he's 70 something now, and he's been talking about buying gold, since he was in his 40s. 35 when Nixon basically, I think he was a kid when Nixon was around. The guy's older, I mean, legit, but he's a huge proponent for Bitcoin and gold. And I'm thinking to myself, this dude is like, to see it happening. And it was really just, he'd always talk about the debt, and I didn't understand what he was talking about actually until recently. But I love it. Absolutely smart man. But he's been buying gold since he was in the price of like 400, 300. And like, really, it's kind of crazy. Yeah.
I have not.
I love that, bro. The way that looks.
Oh yeah, sorry, I got to.
That is cool.
There, it moves a little.
Federal Reserve night. That's probably. But here's it. So that's one of the things, right? 1913 Federal Reserve. I think when you look at the Federal Reserve, it had a major move, like long term, but short term we didn't see the drastic move. Whereas when Trump came on the scene, I mean, from day one, right? He talked about drill, baby, drill. And then what did we see, right? We saw a sell-off on literally almost within 2 weeks. Crude oil, right? We talked about U.S. dollar, right, going from 107 down to $100 to 98 cents, and within 3 months, 4 months, we were down there. So it's one of those things that, yeah, I would agree with you. The Federal Reserve was a major point, in history. But Trump coming on the scene definitely changed things up quite a bit in comparative,
and
like,
a lot
as a drastic point, and a lot faster, which is the main point that we're bringing. So, I want to bring this up because I'm going to talk about real quick one of the coins that we've been following and we've been buying as it was kind of coming down, which has been H&T. We saw H&T go from 178 all the way up to 246, and we're seeing volume come in. Nobody's talking about it yet, but we're already starting to see a bit of a pump. So I want you guys to be aware of it, what's actually happening here. I bought some at the low here, not the low, but around $2, around this area here as we started to come in. Once we started putting in these demand zones, I check these on a daily basis. Once we started putting in this amount of volume kind of coming in.
Jesus, it's up 16% today.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, well, we talked about it kind of, I believe we went over it last week, or the last few weeks we've been going over it, because I thought we were going to come down to that 150 area. We still might. We're coming up to the higher time frame SMAs here.
Yeah, it still looks like lower highs on that chart to me. Lower highs and lower lows.
But there's real volume coming in, real volume. So be paying attention. And right now it's cheap. We're seeing it at that 248 area. And so, picking up a couple $100 there could help you out, help your bag out.
The 24-hour volume is only 35 million for helium, which is not a lot. I mean, a move like that, this is a major token, helium, and it's got a major use case.
Yeah.
It's not just sitting out there waiting for development. I mean, they're cranking helium tokens through their Wi-Fi system, or their access, whatever you call it.
Or their IoT network. They also are developed and partner with another company through the Solana network for the cell phone service, right? And by, you can literally have your own cell phone Solana network setting up for an actual internet system. So these things, and there's a lot of them out there. I'm looking at cell phone providers for miners, where they're trying to go, and there's just so many little things out there. And so I know this is a good one to play with. What is their market cap? It's like 2 billion.
2.4. No, 458 million. It's come down a lot. But Pedro, let's pull this up. There's Mr. Trump going somewhere. Let's re-rack the show at the top of the hour here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to, or the bottom of the hour. Welcome to DYOR Live here on the DYOR Media Network. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking in the digital media world. Man in the box behind me, Mr. Pedro Garcia, the crypto chart analyst. We spent the day today talking about not only the world's economies here, or the world's economic indicators on Technical Tuesday, as we like to call it. Pedro brings his expertise, telling you how these economic indicators affect your bags. But also, as you just saw on the screen here, Mr. Trump's over in Asia, and how he's going around the world conducting Trump-ocracy, which is his version of how democracy and the economy should work around the world. And basically, it should work however he says it does. And he says things, and the economies around the world are affected by it. And obviously, your bags are too. And right now, fairly positively, because the basically everyone's expecting that the U.S. government's got to print money, and that money goes to Wall Street, and it pumps your bags first, and then comes back later to kill it via inflation. But still, when the market's up, he claims victory. He can claim victory and say, see, everyone's value of their 401ks is double, or whatever the number is. Totally leaving out the fact that inflation over time eats that. But that's not the point. We've been talking about his influence around the world, and if you're interested in our discussion about it, it was in the previous half hour of this show, on the first part of the second hour of our show. You can scroll back and watch that. And Pedro and I are going to spend the second part of this half hour, the last few minutes of this show, talking about the cryptos and other instruments we have not addressed yet. We were talking about helium here, Pedro, and how it has a massive use case. But the question I didn't ask, is the price depressed in helium because people earn it and need to sell it to realize cash, or are they able to use the helium tokens they earn in their processing nodes and all that type of stuff and their access points? Are they able to use that in the helium ecosphere so they don't just sell everything they earn, depressing the price?
I think it's both. I don't think it's one or the other. I think it's both. And the fact is that, like you said, as you are going through and you're out there mining it, you're selling off, which means that you need somebody to come in and buy into the coin. And so with that, I think with a lot of the news that have been coming out about it, what they're trying to do, I think the person that they're going to be looking honestly for is institutions coming in and buying. But they're probably going to be buying in OTC. So this is where it's just the suppression of the miner itself, and you wanted to go through and pocket that money as you mine it. I don't know what it's going to look like ultimately, but I think us watching, because originally in the last bull run, we saw helium get up to $50. And one of those things that I always tell everybody, yeah.
Jesus.
Yep, originally
around.
I think
imagine the people that bought it 40, 50.
Oh, dude.
I bet you there's a lot of people DCA'd that. Probably that whole. What time period is this chart? Monthly chart?
Yeah. Now this is so I believe back when they became part of the Solana phone network and how that entire thing, I believe they rebranded, and because all of a sudden, it literally looked like, price was all the way up here, right? It looked like this, right? It was like down here. It was like this, boom, right? And then boom, skyrocket to $50. And then this is what you saw, right? Boom. And so it was like
all those
dang.
Early buyers said, cash out.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if we were buying at 25 cents, 30 cents, and all of a sudden it hits $50. You're just like, dude, how far can this thing go? Right? Like, how far is it going to keep going up? So they sold off, and then you saw this mark here where you just saw it kind of sell off. But ultimately, there's a lot. I still think there's a lot of money into this because they actually have a decent network. It's a real system. They have cash money that comes in from it. They're building businesses that correlate with it, with their IoT network, and everybody goes around and uses their IoT network. I think they have over like 1,000 networks that use their own network, or 1,000 companies that use their own network. Right. And I think there's so it's not a fly-by company. It's a company that generates a real income. And it just makes sense to me why, to see some company come out and go, or some treasury company come out and go, you know what? We should probably do a treasury on HNT, hey, right? And all of a sudden it's just like it goes from $2, $1.50, all the way up to freaking $40, and you're just like, nice, right? So it's one of those ones I've been paying attention to as well. Also,
Pedro, we are one chatter away from making our Rumble Creator thing for the month. We need one other. DeFi dude, Dara came in and got position 19. We need the 20th person to chat on Rumble. But on YouTube, thank you, Baby Draco. Welcome to the house. Don't have the regular comment machine working today. For some reason, it's not working. But thanks for joining us over on the YouTubes. And those of you watching on LinkedIn, thank you very much. I've seen we've had a couple of viewers there. We usually do pretty well in the replays over on YouTube. But we've reached our goals for number of hours streamed, hours watched, and ad reads. And we still have 2 hours of premium left to do. And one chatter. One of you watching doesn't have an account out there. You should be drawn and quartered. Or just create a Rumble account and chat with us, and we'd appreciate it.
Yeah, come on in, create a chat with us, guys. We'd appreciate that. If you're watching and if you like the content that I give you, please come in and just create a profile. And even if it's saying I said something, I don't care, because we just need one more. So I'd appreciate it if you guys could. We have a lot of people who watch us on their TVs, and you guys rock. We appreciate every one of you guys and your viewership. It doesn't matter if we have 3 of you guys or if we have 25 to 30 of you. We appreciate every one of you. So
and for those of you that are new, over here we have what's called our new TradeWave app. In one of the sections, it's not released out to the public yet. We're still beta testing it here. But we have a section over here of the trades that we talk about in the show. And Pedro, I think earlier you might have talked about BNB and where you wanted to buy it. Maybe later we'll add that and get rid of my weak trade that's over there on it. But anyway, there's a trade. We have 4 trades over there, of which Pedro and I have talked about on the show here. One is ICP, entry price at $2, waiting for it to come down there. Another is Ethereum at 3,300. Obviously, where Ethereum is now at 3,800, say, yeah, I'm going to buy it at 3,300 is a no-brainer. But that's a level that Pedro identified as a place that the price likely will retrace to because of past indicators. And as I like to say, he susses out where the liquidity and orders are. That would be a good spot for that. And BNB, it says right there, Trader Striking. I have a long there at 950. I believe that at some point BNB will be manipulated down there very quickly. And so it's a short-term play for it to get in and then get out when it... And then Pedro has his Astra trade he was talking about, although waffled a little bit on that today and said maybe he'll just get in now. He wants to get in at 99 cents and then hold it for the long term. He even says over there that the exit price just says hold, and the notes on it say long and hold strategy. Want demand wicks, not seller wicks before you get into that trade. One of the things that's coming to us, so for those of you like Dara and crew that haven't watched, be ready. We're coming out with an app to track what we say so we can prove to you that, well, we're always right.
Yeah, well, the thing is I'm sad that we have...
Wasn't it?
No, it kind of is. I mean, I'm going to be quiet now because I just sound arrogant.
It's all right. It's all right. You can be a little arrogant, Pedro. Maybe it'll help the algorithm.
Yeah, I don't want to build it that way, though.
Okay, how about this? Do it or die. Does that work?
Oh, yeah. No? I'm not afraid to. I'm not afraid to die. I mean, I know where I'm.
No, I meant for the people. Let's do Pedro's trades.
Oh yeah. There you go. Check it out. If you guys like it, cool. Not cool. Appreciate every one of you. Go check out previous records. I mean, one of the things that we were talking about last week, I was talking about XRP and its movement over the week and what kind of expect. And with XRP, it kind of did what we thought it was going to do. So
it did. It did, and we put a short out about it too, and it got. Let's see how well that short did for us. Because you put it out, said XRP is going to 250, 255. 3 days later, boom, 250, 255. Let's see the short video. 364 views, of which most of them happened after XRP did in fact go to 2.5.
Yep. And so we saw, I said we should find support around these levels and see it go up. It actually went all the way up to 266, which is really nice. So really nice area here. What's up?
It's a quirk in our analytics that I'll bring up with you after the show. It's funny.
Oh, gotcha.
And it's exactly what I thought. If YouTube says, "Oh, we don't rate content and all that," this is evidence that they most certainly do. They're lying through their teeth.
Well, what is it? I mean, lie until you get caught, right? Just ask Enron. You know, like one of the most greatest epic it could have been an epic greatest, you know, I mean, it could have been a good story, you know, where they could have come back, but they just kept lying, and then, you know, one person bought in and then they sold off. It was just one big Ponzi scheme. Is that guy, did he ever die, or is he still in prison?
Jeffrey,
the CEO
Skillen?
or Enron. His name
Jeffrey.
is. I still have his.
He's the brother of the weatherman in Chicago. Tom Skillen. It's Jeffrey Skillen. That's his name.
Forget. But let's check out a couple more other ones. So BTC. So like I said, I want to see BTC this week close above the 20 period moving average, or the daily.
Skilling. The weatherman is Tom Skilling in Chicago. Brother.
I want to see. Now, to those who are watching us who don't understand crypto, in the stock world, unless you're going through Robinhood, you have to actually have the amount of money to be able to buy a stock. So if it's $250, you need to have $250 to buy that stock, right? Whereas in crypto, it's fractionalized. And so just like with Robinhood, you can go in, let's say if a stock's $250, you can buy a fractionalized stock, or if all you have is $100, they'll buy $100 worth of that stock, and because they buy in at large pieces, and then they hold your amount, and then as dividends are given, you're given that amount of a dividend. So if it's half a stock, you're given half the dividend that gets placed into your account. Now, in the same sense, crypto is very similar, right? Whereas, let's say BNB is sitting at $1,000. Well, if all you have is, say, $25, $30, you can actually put in $25 to $30, and it will move up at the same percentage of whatever it would be. And so if you stake it on whatever platform you're using, you'll receive part of that staking reward. So I just want to encourage many of you that are watching us over on Rumble and many other places that don't really understand crypto. That's a cool thing behind cryptos. You don't need to have the full amount. Now, a lot of cryptos are at low rates. So we're talking $20, $10, some at 10 cents, some at 5 cents, and some at micro pennies, right? Where it's literally like 5 zeros, 6 zeros back. So it's real interesting to see how that correlates there. But I want to see BNB close above that 20 period moving average. And then from there, we can see it then come back. So it close above this line right here. That's this guy right here. And then I want to see volume, and you can already see we're almost, if we could actually have the same amount of volume as we had yesterday, if not higher, that is an extremely bullish sentiment. We're most likely going to see it continue up as we go, which means then that our Aster trade will most likely do really well. So that's in a nutshell there. Boom. And I also heard on the Breakfast Club,
Yes.
Attic, Polygon, and Cardano as well. Cardano. Where's ADA? I thought I had ADA here. Okay. So we're actually starting to show a little bit of strength here and at these lows here. Again, I want to see Cardano come down into this lower level at 57 area here. We've seen it kind of go sideways here over the last over the last year. We came down to an area, we saw it go all the way up to $1. And I thought we were going to continue up by hitting the 50 period and then going back up, but we didn't. We pulled back down to this area and we're creating a lower high here, or excuse me, a higher low here. And so if we start to see volume come in on the buy side and we start to get above that 20 period moving average, you have two areas of resistance. You actually have this area right here, which is going to be the 89-cent area. And then the next level is going to be, change that color there. It's going to be sitting at that 101 area. Once we pass through this area here, then I would expect us to start to climb back up above that 118. You can see here that this has been a lower high, or excuse me, a higher low here. And so it's one of the things I'm looking at to see if it continues up. So that's about in a nutshell there too as well. Right back at you, Tom. You got the con.
I was saying, how is the volume in Cardano compared to its history? I mean, has interest in Cardano dropped off, or is it roughly the same, or booming?
Well, no. So if you look at the period here before we had that meteoritic rise within Cardano, which was about a year ago, you saw it go from 32 cents all the way up to that 130 cents, which was a 4x. And you've seen it basing here. So if you look at the volume here, which is about right here, it's actually has been we've seen an increase in volume right here in trade. You can see here compared to here to here, you can see that there's a major difference in volume for trading, right? And so this is where we're sitting right now, where people are definitely interested in Cardano at these levels. And so potentially I could see it going back up, and if not much further than that. So they're definitely, somebody's buying, somebody's out there taking advantage of this market.
Well, if you recall,
consolidated.
Pedro, there was Cardano in the foundation there or whatever, and Charles's business spent a lot of money on their midnight protocol stuff, that it was going to come out and revolutionize everything with zero knowledge, all these products, able to blah, 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 blah. And since it came out, the market went like this.
Cool. All right.
Yep. Yeah. And as a result, now I'm hypothesizing here. Didn't read an article about someone else's hypothesizing. The Cardano Foundation is unhappy with Charles. And they started accusing each other of malfeasance, and there was all kinds of social media bad stuff flowing back and forth. They've since put that to bed for some reason. I think they realized how much money they could lose if they screw this thing up. But is the big products that he had hired a lot of people. You saw them posting all over LinkedIn. Midnight Protocol, we're hiring developers, we're hiring these guys, we're hiring marketers, blah, 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 blah. And then zippity-doo-dah, and the price didn't really appreciate. But what's the time frame of this chart? This is the daily chart. Yeah, it looks like from the time they announced it last year, the price actually came down. So it's just meh. One big fat meh. Disappointed in Cardano. I really thought that Charles was gonna have some new great product, but it kind of just seems to me that he made a lot of money in Ethereum and with Cardano by launching that, and there wasn't really any brains behind it. I don't mean to be rude. I just mean to be like, most of the people that got rich. Most of the people that got rich, really rich in crypto, were the ones that were just first. They were just early. They bought. I bought 10,000 Bitcoin one day for $1. Let that sit around. No, I'm a billionaire. See how smart I am? No, I was just lucky in timing. And so I had hopes for Cardano. Who trades in our group? trades Cardano. Was it Chuck?
I don't
Chuck had
know.
Yeah, but I think he. No, maybe that was Solana. Someone was a big Cardano fan, because I remember joking about it, and they ended up selling it at much higher. And I was like, oh, all this new stuff's coming out. You should watch. It's gonna pump. And they knew it wasn't gonna pump. El No Pumpo. Baby Draco, I have no idea who Mac Dre is. Does I sound like Mac Dre? Was I doing one of my voices again? Let's bring up, let's just Google
Mac
who
Dre.
is Mac Dre. I'm guessing it's someone with a grill. Mac Dre, born Andre Lewis Hicks, 1970. Oh, I'm older than him. Oakland, California, American rapper, songwriter, and producer from Vallejo, California. He was a pivotal figure in development of the hippie movement, a cultural phenomenon in the Bay Area hip scene that emerged, blah, 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 fast-paced rhythms. Oh, yes, I know who Mac Dre is, of course. He was on a playlist also that I used to have with a band called The Coup, C-O-U-P, The Coup, who has some really good music, especially their satire of the Christmas song "Deck the Halls." Instead of the word "deck," they use the word "lick." The "Deck My Halls" theme. It's epic. It's just epic.
Man, I don't know who got in on this sell-off of Cardano when it sold all the way off to, what is this? Wow, that is just crazy. 0.001%.
That's probably
less.
the insiders saying, hey, the people aren't taken to our new product well. And then the results came out and Palambo.
Look at
Have
this.
a big pump there. When was that?
No, look, that's what I'm trying to say.
Oh,
Yeah.
That was 2021.
That's what I'm trying to say is like that. Look at the play. Somebody sold off, bought it back. Literally, this was in a day. Went off to 0.001, and it closed. Oh, sorry, this is the weekly. So this week literally went down here and came all the way back up to like 10 cents. So it literally had a massive sell-off, and then somebody bought it back at the low here. And then look, within maybe 3 months, August, September, October, and then we had the 2021 rally that just went all the way up to $3. Imagine getting it. You're talking that is 1,000x. Whoever got that, right? Like that was insanity. Buying at that low there must have been just, you're talking rock star status, man. I mean, like being able to sit there and say, yeah, I caught Cardano at, 0.002. And then all of a sudden, then it hits $3 and you're like, if you put $100 off of that, what is that? That would have been 1,000. It was 1,000x, right? So that would have been, come on,
It's a lot. We'll just go with a lot of X.
Yeah, that's $100,000 off $100. Not bad. Not bad at all. So that's crazy. Some people got filthy rich. Part of me almost wonders, was Charles part of that sell-up? I would have been tempted to. I mean, I would have been so. Yeah,
where's all the other altcoins have a big pump when Bitcoin went to its all-time highs recently? Where's their pump? That's it. That little.
So that's the whole entire point here is that a lot of people are saying that we're not going to have an altcoin season because the big pump, and then we're watching the altcoins kind of just flounder. I'm like, everybody's like, wait, what's going on? And people are hoping for an altcoin season. I still think we're going to see an altcoin season pump, but it's all correlated with, are they going to do it through a treasury standpoint, where all of a sudden we start having all these companies that go out and start buying these coins, as treasuries. So it's going to be, because we've talked about this, that crypto is going to be the settlement layer. I think the fact that Saylor is so confident that only Bitcoin will be, I think is foolish. But I think it's definitely going to be one of the primary ones, but we're already watching like crypto.com becoming a treasury settlement debt way to, be able to sit there and say, okay, this is the price here. And then everything is built off of that. And so it's going to be really interesting. The other part behind I think is interesting as well is that when you had gold, you only had one form. Now that you have a lot of these other cryptos, it diversifies the form in which a debt can actually be created. So that's another thing I think is going to be really interesting.
All right, Pedro.
All right. Yeah, it's about that.
What you got left? Oh, we got 3 minutes left here.
I really don't have anything left per se. I've just been kind of paying attention to a couple of these, like SPX. Been looking at last week. They did pretty well, and so I'm kind of paying attention here to them because, they've got huge communities, and that is the wet dream of a market maker and institution, because that means that, hey, guess what? I have people to sell off on.
A whole bunch of knuckleheads that trade on emotion. That's what that means.
That's exactly. And so I've been paying attention to see what's happening here with SPX. If we do see a sell-off here, I want to buy in at SPX. Again, this is the XPX.
Still $1 billion coin here. And not only that, but $27 million, $28 million in 24-hour trading. Still a very liquid token. You can get those orders, big orders filled with that.
Absolutely. So that's it in a nutshell for me. Apart from that,
for you viewers out there, let's see what. There's Alicia CC 20th. Thanks for joining us, Alicia. Haven't seen you comment in a while, unless you're just doing it under Dara's account.
Alicia.
But anyway, good.
She's the 20th.
Yeah, she's the 20th. We hit the goal. Thank you very much. For that, but anyway, we've got. If you've noticed, I've been messing around with the look here. We've changed up the branding. We've added the TradeWave app over there instead of just the regular price thing. I've changed up just today, new DYOR Live for this show logo over there, the neon sign, and then below me here is the DYOR Media Network neon sign. They don't quite match here. I need to work on that a little bit, but changing up the look of it, trying to maybe grab some younger eyeballs here, since Pedro and I are over the hill here already. But anyway, I admit it, I just like the cyberpunk and neon theme and stuff like that. So I tried the bland corporate look and that didn't work at all. So now back to cyberpunk. So I hope you guys enjoy it. That's Pedro commenting there. I don't have the regular comments machine working today, but anyway, we've come to the end of the show. Good show today. We had a bunch of you. I didn't read any. I did have the opportunity, Pedro, to read a couple of ads, but we hit all our goals for this month for doing that, so I spared us the 13 cents we would have earned today. Thanks to everyone that came out and watched. If anyone's got any last-minute questions here, let us know here. Let's see. What am I doing here? Let's load up the kick tracks there for Jesus.
Jesus, ¿qué pasa? Hey man, do me a favor. I want you to go down to the taco trucks and I want you to get yourself a carne asada. It's a carne asada super burrito. Throw the fixing on it, man, and then throw it up to the homie over here on the East Coast who misses the taco trucks. Because taco trucks out here are trash. And they want to charge you like $15 for a burrito versus like $5 and like $2 tacos. Absolutely. It's crazy. So you go out there, you enjoy it, and I'll sit there and be like, awesome. Mi hermano, ¿qué pasa?
Ladies and gentlemen, we had a great technical Tuesday here. Only the second day of the week. It's like the 50th day of October. This month has gone on so long, I can't even believe it. But soon to be November. Lots of good content coming up for you the rest of the year. Make sure you pay attention to what we're talking about over there. I got the TradeWave app up. We're pushing out changes to that soon. But we have trades on it. Make sure you watch our show and learn about that. In fact, you can just ask us, hey, what trades are on there until we release that. We know all of you guys are going to want that info. But anyway, Pedro, thank you for your effort today explaining the world markets to everybody and how the leading economic indicators affect your bags, ladies and gentlemen. So that's all we got for you today. As always, the man in the box next to me, Mr. Pedro Garcia, the crypto chart analyst. My name is Striking, otherwise known as Tom in the real world here. We'll see you guys tomorrow here on the DYOR Media Network.